Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 26, 2023, and Barcelona are set to receive a financial boost during this winter transfer market as La Liga have announced the loosening of the financial fair play rules. Also, it's reported that Manchester City are currently trying to beat Barcelona to yet another player or to the signing of yet another player. And finally, Barcelona are currently not planning on renewing the contracts of Marcos Alonso or Sergio Roberto. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and this will be one of two videos for today because I'm still catching up from all the Barcelona news since I didn't make any videos this weekend since I was out of the country for the holidays. So make sure to stay tuned to part two of this video, which will be uploaded in a few hours. Now, having said that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for Kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's dive right in the news because Barcelona are set to receive a financial boost as La Liga announced today and on their website that they will be loosening their financial fair play rules for this winter transfer market in order to help clubs sign players. Now, as I've talked about in other videos in the past, La Liga are currently on the decline because they have one of the strictest financial fair play rules. And as a result of these very strict financial fair play rules, many clubs in La Liga have had to sell their players. They have even had to sell their young up-and-coming players in their academies. And they haven't been able to sign any star players because, again, these strict financial fair play rules does not allow them. And as a result, we've seen a huge migration of talent from La Liga to other leagues such as the Premier League and the Bundesliga. And as a result, right now, La Liga have gone down all the way to the third most watched league in the world, not only on television, but also in stadium attendance. Now, this has resulted in loss of income for all La Liga clubs and loss in income for the Spanish league itself, as they have lost viewership. And of course, they have lost also sponsors. So as a result, La Liga have now recognized their failure with the financial fair play rules. And today they announced through their website that they will be relaxing the financial fair play rules for this winter transfer market. And this is a huge boost for Barcelona because, as I reported before, Barcelona had announced that they're going to try to sign a reinforcement for the midfield, someone on loan for 6 months, but only if the financial fair play rules allow them. And with this loosening of the rules, that gives Barcelona that much more a boost, if you may, to try to sign someone like Andre Trinidad, who I talked about in previous videos. Now, La Liga have announced several measures to loosen their financial fair play rules. For starters, the rules of the financial fair play in the Spanish league says that if a club spent more money than they brought in, they would only be able to spend 25% of any savings they make in order to sign players. That was increased to 50% last year, and now it will be increased to 60%. And also clubs will be able to use 70% of their savings if they sell a player who is free. So, for example, if they sell a player who they brought in for free for 100 million euros, clubs who spent more they brought in, they would be able to use 70% of that revenue, so 70 million euros out of that 100 to sign new players, which again will help Barcelona. Another measure that La Liga have announced is what it's called the expansion of capital. So, for example, if a club expands their capital either through loan or through the sale of their assets, like Barcelona did with the economic levers, they'd be able to use that money that they generate out of the expansion of their capital in 2 seasons rather than 4. So, for example, if Barcelona were to sell their assets for 40 million euros, under the old rules, they would have to spend those 40 million euros over a 4-year span, so 10 million euros per season. But now they'd be able to use it in a 2-season span, so 20 million euros per season, which again, it will be a huge boost, not only for Barcelona, but for all the Spanish clubs in La Liga. Now, another measure, and this will be the final measure that we'll discuss, that La Liga have announced, It's the renovation of stadiums. Before, when clubs decided to renovate their stadiums, of course, it would lose revenue because parts of the stadium would have to be closed. So there'd be a decrease in sales of tickets. Then La Liga would then penalize those clubs by taking that revenue that they lost and subtracting it from their wage limit. But now La Liga will no longer do that, which is a great thing because that incentivize clubs to renovate their stadiums to make them bigger in order to increase their income in the future, rather than penalizing those clubs for investing in the infrastructure by reducing the losses that they're going to incur while the stadium's being renovated and subtracting it from their wage limit. So this is also good for Barcelona because, of course, Barcelona are renovating the Spotify Camp now. They're expected to lose money out of this out of the reduction in the capacity of the stadium. So this will not affect Barcelona's wage limit, which again, another boost for Barcelona and all the other clubs in the Spanish league. Now, speaking of signing players, I do have great news because Vitor Roque has officially boarded a plane and left Brazil, headed towards Barcelona. And as I announced before, he's expected to land tomorrow in the city of Barcelona. Tomorrow, December the 27th, he's expected to land at 8 a.m. Barcelona time. And then he's later expected to join his teammates the following day on December 28th. And he will be unveiled as an official Barcelona player on January 3rd and will be available for selection on January 4th against Las Palmas. So this will be a huge boost for Barcelona because, of course, Barcelona have had a problem with scoring goals. And Vitor Roque is, of course, known for being an absolute poacher in the penalty box, someone who's able to score goals. And hopefully his arrival will also put some pressure on Robert Lewandowski to increase his output because, after all, Lewandowski has been suffering in recent matches, missing many clear shots. So this will be a great welcome and a great addition for Barcelona. And I got to say, I'm very excited for the arrival of the Brazilian wonder kid. Now, speaking of Brazilian players, it's reported that Manchester City are now trying to beat Barcelona to the signing of one more player. And that player is, of course, Savinho. Now, I reported in a previous video that Manchester City are now very close to signing Claudio Echeverri, who Barcelona were hoping to sign in the future. And now Manchester City are looking to sign Savinho, the 19-year-old left winger who's currently on loan at Girona from the French team Troyes. And he's someone that Barcelona were hoping to sign in the upcoming summer because, of course, Barcelona, one of Barcelona's main priorities is to sign someone for the left wing. And that's exactly where Savio, or Savinho as he's known, currently plays. Now, it's reported that Pep Guardiola has instructed Manchester City's scouts to produce reports about the player because Manchester City could be interested in signing him from Girona. And after all, Manchester City, Girona, and Troyes are all part of the City group, so they're all owned by the same owner. So, of course, it will be much easier for Manchester City to take Savinho from Girona and use him themselves in the Premier League over Barcelona, who would have to probably pay a lot of money for the signing of the Brazilian player. So we're going to have to see how things end up playing. But for now, just know that Manchester City could end up stealing one more player away from Barcelona. Now, speaking of Girona, one player I would like to talk about is Eric Garcia, who's currently shining at Girona. He's currently, of course, on a one-season loan with no option or obligation to buy. And he's currently shining with Mitchell. And of course, Eric Garcia is a defender that I've always said in the past that he's very talented with a lot of potential, but he needed more playing time. And at the time, I was called crazy. And even a lot of people said that Xavi was crazy for keeping someone like Eric Garcia. But Eric Garcia is proving me and Xavi right because right now he's shining Mitchell. He's under Mitchell at Girona. He's being a starter at Girona. And of course, Barcelona are now contemplating the sale of the defender, but only if an offer comes exceeding the 15 million euros. Now, it's reported that Girona might want to keep Eric Garcia next season on a permanent basis. And if they do, again, Barcelona are going to want at least 15 million euros for the Spanish defender, which in my opinion might be a little bit low, but I do like to hear from you. Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think 15 million euros is a fair price for Eric Garcia? Would you want to see the defender being sold for more? Now, more news because it's reported that Sergi Roberto and Marcos Alonso's contracts will not be renewed. Of course, both Sergi Roberto and Marcos Alonso's contract are set to expire at the end of the season on June 30th, 2024. And for now, Barcelona are leaking that they have no plans of renewing the two veteran players. Now, in regards to Sergio Roberto, as I reported before, the Barcelona captain wants to renew his contract with Barcelona, and despite there being interest from Inter Milan, Sergio Roberto has instructed his agent not to entertain any offers until April or May because he wants to prove himself and he's hoping for a contract renewal offer from Barcelona. But as of now, it's reported that Barcelona are not planning to renew the Barcelona captain's contract. Now, it's reported that Sergio Roberto is even willing to lower his salary again because he did lower his salary the last time Barcelona renewed his contract. In fact, Sergio Roberto is one of the players that earns the least on the first squad. It's reported that he earns as much as a Barca Athletic player. And it seems that the Barcelona captain is willing to reduce it even more to extend his contract with Barcelona. But again, no plans right now for Barcelona to extend the contract of Sergi Roberto. Now, in the case of Marcos Alonso, of course, he was a player that I was okay with him being on a squad last season. You know, he was a good rotational player, but unfortunately this season his form has declined a lot. He hasn't been getting much playing time. And as a result, Barcelona are now planning to renew his contract at the end of the season. And it's reported that his entourage are already talking to Atletico de Madrid. So we could see Marcos Alonso joining the Madrid-based club in the summer as a free agent. Now, speaking of Atletico de Madrid, let's talk about Joao Felix, who has been having inconsistent performance at Barcelona. He's currently on vacation in Saudi Arabia with his family, and he has been leaking to the press that he is ready to come back, turn things around, and prove himself because Joao Felix wants to stay in Barcelona. So he wants to turn things around for the second half of the season, and he believes that he can do it, that he can earn his spot, and then he can convince Jan Laporta and the board of directors to sign him on a permanent basis. And while even though I haven't been impressed so far by Joao Felix, I hope he does turn things around and becomes that important player that we all hope him to be, because after all, very happy when Barcelona signed him. But so far, again, he's been having inconsistent performance, but hopefully he can turn things around because we all know the potential and the talent that the Portuguese player has. Anyway, that is all the news. Again, I will be uploading a second video later tonight, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and your subscriptions. And I will see you in a few hours in the second video of today. Visca Barça.